Hey everyone, welcome to episode 218 of Sold with Updike Pugh.
I'm Jeff Updike.
I'm Weston Pugh, and today we have a really great home on 5220 Miller Avenue that is not quite new construction, as we would say, but it is a beautiful house and it has lots of appeals for lots of people.
I'm sorry, and in our second segment today, we're going to talk about spring storms are coming. Are you covered?
It is important.
It is. We've already had like our first two waves of spring storms through this year, and that were, the kind that they were able to predict the week before. Next Thursday afternoon is going to be, there've been two times this year I've already gone to the hallway with the dogs.
Spot?
Yeah.
Well, interesting because on Tuesday we actually toured North Dallas, and we actually were in, I think, 3 of the neighborhoods across North Dallas that got hit by the storm 2, or was it 3 years ago?
3 years ago.
And there are still limited trees that are mature, and then there's so many new constructions in a neighborhood that is, typically a 50, 60-year-old neighborhood, and these houses are brand new and really amazing.
One of the neighborhoods that we drove through, I can't remember the name of the street we were on, but the court that the house that was on tour only had 2 homes on it. Both of them were pre-tornado built.
Dorset.
Well, yes, the one number 2 Dorset, I think we looked at was a 2015 build, I think is what I looked at. But then you look across the street, across Dorset, and there were 3 right in a row that were all, you could tell, brand new construction built in the last 2 years.
And we sold that house that was on Yolanda, which is in that same area, and going back to Yolanda from Walnut Hill, that whole area has completely been redone too. So we thought it'd be timely for us to talk about some of those. It's a really important, because if you're not ready, it is a really unfortunate time.
Yeah.
So
I would agree.
It has begun. Our spring season is here. We're basically seeing lots of the flowers begin. You can see them at Callaway's and Home Depot. You can also see the bluebonnets.
You see them in my backyard.
You can see them in your backyard, and we're praying, cross fingers, that we get spring inventory too.
The 3 weekends ago, I went and I spent too much money, bought too many plants, and then had to plant them all. And I think I've got everything in the ground except for 3 ferns. But I think that's all I have left.
I think that's okay. It was really trickery though, because 3 weeks ago it was 70, 80 degrees.
Yes.
And then was 33, 34, 38. And that's pretty cool in the mornings for us right now.
We've had a 33 degree morning this week, or over the weekend. Over the weekend. So
it's been really great. Weekends are still kind of interesting, hit or miss. A lot of the houses right now, it's interesting because everybody, let me rephrase this. Does everyone ask you how the market is going right now?
Everyone.
It does. You got to be on a phone conversation or a text and like, what's going on with the market? And the best thing we can say right now is that there's still a lot of desire just from listening to their agents in our office, seeing what's happening in the open houses. But at the same token, if it's silly, overpriced, there's no real threshold for that right now.
Yeah, I would agree.
It is a very interesting time. So without further ado, let's take a look and see what is happening in Dallas County over the last 7 days on today's Market Watch.
Last week in Dallas County, we had 0 change in the number of coming soons.
That's amazing.
0, yeah. 69 last week, 69, or 2 weeks ago, and then 69 last week. New active listings were down about 10%. A little bit of a surprise there. There were still 370 new listings that came in Dallas County. And then option period, that first little caveat of the contract that you go into is called the option period, and that's down by about 2% last week.
Yep. And so once an option period has been fulfilled, you move into pending status. And pending, that is down 16%, 141 versus 168 last week. And then sold, so now we're all done. This is 295, which is up 2% versus 288 units last week. And interest rates have dropped almost a quarter of a point to 6.48. One of the things just to remember is that last week was spring break, and so we're taking that into consideration for the next 2 weeks. They will be stabilizing. We will get back to a full-blown spring market here shortly, but those are the 2 big factors that have taken.
Yeah, and the bank failure also kind of put a little hiccup into the financial market, and the bond rates went way up, which caused mortgage rates to come down a little bit. And I think we'll see a little bit of variation. If nothing else from those 2, I think now potentially 3 bank failures, it looks like the silver lining, I hate to ever say, the best thing about it, But maybe the silver lining is that it will have tamped down inflation enough the Fed can stop raising interest rates. That would stabilize long-term rates in the mortgage market. And I think more people feel more comfortable buying a house.
100% on that, because, for one of the first economic conferences that we went to, the speaker was actually from the bank here, the federal bank here in Dallas, and said that he expected rates to rise 2 more times, and that because of this new development within the banks, that actually might be off the table, and we actually could be now looking at a nice mid-6, low-6 for the rest of the year, and I think that stability will give buyers a lot more incentive to get out into the marketplace.
I think so, and really those are kind of to me, having the 3% rates for so long, they were just felt artificially low.
100%.
And now, if not that I would pay, want to pay 3% over or 6% over 3%, but it feels like that's a more reasonable number with everything else, less volatile number with everything else that's going on.
And I think it could be the new norm. Fingers crossed it gets there and just stays put, and people understand that.
Cool.
All right, let's take a look at 52.
Cool story, bro.
5220 Miller Avenue. This is in East Dallas. This is a great neighborhood. This is one of the neighborhoods that has a lot of go-to. We see this actually from a bunch of different aspects. If you are done with Uptown, this is a great traditional migration. If you need to be working close to downtown, it's a perfect location. If you are downsizing from one of the burbs, this is a great neighborhood to be in.
Very, very convenient. You not only have access to all of those freeways, you've got great access to some outdoor space if you want to jump on a bike and head over toward White Rock Lake. I think that's only about a 3-mile ride from there to White Rock Lake.
I used to live closer to this area, and I would always call it epicenter adjacent because there were so many things that you could get to. One of the things that locals love in this area, if you're not from Dallas, you're going to want to check this place out when you come visit. Call us. I'll go have a beer with you. It's called the Truck Yard. Truck Yard is actually piggybacking off of the wildly successful Katy Trail that is in Uptown and created this really good indoor-outdoor space. Really feels like an Austin vibe, so if that's what you're into, it is a great place. Live music, as you can see here, it is almost all indoor-outdoor. Lots of unique seating spaces. Capacity can get hit pretty quick, so you might want to be there a little earlier than later for a Sunday fun day.
And if you are into live music, the Granada Theater on Greenville Avenue is a really, really great place to go. I was looking at their schedule, and it looks like they have an Elton John cover band that is coming very quickly. They just do such a variety of shows. I mean, from like hardcore DJ music to, I saw Sarah McLachlan there one time.
Did you? Okay, so I have been there, not recently, but I have spent 2 New Year's Eve there listening to Jonas Tyler and the Northern Lights. Amazing show. It's a great time. Great time. Also in this area, Jeff mentioned earlier that it's a quick bike ride over to White Rock Lake. One of the great things in this area is the Santa Fe Trail. And the Santa Fe Trail actually starts over there at Exposition, just behind the old 500X gallery, and then heads north. And you and I have actually biked this.
We have, and it's a great trail. It goes through some very very wooded areas. It goes through some more urban style areas. Really great views of the lake, and I really like the fact that now you can go from downtown all the way out to White Rock, around White Rock if you want. You can go north. You can now connect to the North Haven Trail. North Texas has really become a beacon of hope for cyclists and hikers.
Yep, and I remember when I first moved to Dallas, one of the things they were talking about was they were calling it the Emerald Bracelet. That would be the green biking trails that would actually connect and make a circle all the way around Dallas. And every year they get closer and closer to this, and this is just one of those great elements that allows you to get into downtown Dallas, near Deep Ellum, and then all the way up to White Rock Lake. Great place.
Let's talk about this house.
So 5220 Miller Avenue. This is a 4-bedroom, 4-bath, half bath, and a 2-car garage. It's right at 3,564 square feet, and it's priced at $1.4 million.
This is a really great 2-story kind of combination of style. It's got a little craftsman, it's got a little prairie style. It's in the Vickery Park subdivision, and so they're within that area where it's restricted to certain styles of homes if they're rebuilding or remodeling. And I think it makes all the sense in the world because it is such a cohesive neighborhood.
And when you walk in the front door, you can turn, and this can be set up as a parlor as it is here, which is a really great office. And one of the recipes that developers and builders alike in Dallas have figured out is that having a office and a bedroom downstairs is one of the best things you can do. And they've done a really great job with a really oversized bedroom at the front of the house that also has not just a little, nothing bathroom, but a really great styled with walk-in shower.
And this is the formal dining area, which is kind of open. That's a little bit of a change from like probably how this house would have been built, 100 years ago. But it's got really great light that just kind of flows in through those side windows. As you can see here, the opening where it's really open to the kitchen and then it's open to the living area, and all of that glass on the back really draws your attention toward the rear of the home.
And so many times everybody comes over and of course they land in the kitchen. And I have to point out that this is probably one of the largest kitchen islands I've ever seen. It's actually book matched as well, which makes it that much better, and is a perfect place because of the way that it's laid out in this floor plan. Kitchen, dining room, living room, it all works together.
And this has got an 8-burner gas range, vent hood above, other stainless steel appliances, refrigerator right there at the end that doesn't stand out. It's really just kind of tucked into the right place. As Weston said, huge island here, microwave that's built into the bottom of it, so you don't have the visual effects from that. If you're standing on the other side or seated in the living room, it's all hidden.
It's the best buffet line you've ever seen, and you're going to be able to host. So we like the fact that this kitchen works so seamlessly, both with the dining room, but as you can see here, the kitchen. And Jeff has pointed out the amount of glass that you get here, or the amount of glass on this back wall that allows all the natural light. And that is south facing, which is really great because you don't get too burnt from the actual sun.
And that's a motorized shade you see just beyond the window that can come down and provide even better security, better privacy, protection from the sun if you don't like how bright it can be in there. It's really such a flexible home in terms of how you want to live.
And going upstairs, there is a great place for a 14-foot Christmas tree if that's your thing. Lots of place also for decorations here. This is a really great space because that hallway kind of opens up into this huge little second living room, or as they have set up here, as a game room. It's a great place. It has a walk-in closet as well. So it has a lot of versatility, and we have 3 additional bedrooms upstairs.
And this is, these bedrooms are all really good size. They brought the hardwood floors all the way up, so you've got that continuity in the house. It's also, I think, provides to the vibe of staying with that prairie style craftsman 1920s type construction.
And every one of the bedrooms is also ensuite, which is a really valuable thing. And as you see here, this is the master bedroom, which is over the living room. And this also faces due west, which is really great. It is a huge bedroom. As you can notice, as we've looked at these pictures of the bedrooms, there is no carpet in this house, which is really nice. Nice wood floors. And as you come in, this was probably, I have to say, one of the largest bathrooms that I've ever seen. Really well done. As you can see, it's got a nice walk-in shower. The nice thing too is they paid attention to the flooring, and you have a herringbone. I believe that's a Calcutta marble that is also laid there.
And they, so is that Calcutta marble on the wall, or is that?
I'm probably really close. One of those families.
And it is such beautiful. The shower stall is huge, as you can tell, and then you walk into this master bedroom closet.
It is enormous. Lots and lots of built-ins, which are really great. And as we come back downstairs, right off of that living room, you've got a second covered space, and this is your covered back patio. One of the things we like to do is point out to scale. There's a double lounger right there and additional seats. That's how big this is.
And this is on the east side of the house. They had a horseshoe. What do they call it? Horseshoe court?
Yes.
Horseshoe court installed. This owner also added some additional driveway padding there, which gives you a little bit more flexibility in turning around and leaving the garage.
So this is 5220 Miller Avenue. 4-bedroom, 4-bath, and a half bath. 2-car garage, built in 2014. 3,564 square feet, priced at $1.4 million, which is just under $400,000 at $392 a foot.
It is. And we want to say thank you to Michael Zahn for letting us talk about his home today. There are other pictures we didn't get to include in this. If you'd like to see those, just click on the link below. If there's any information you'd like to have about the house or would like to see it, reach out to us. We would love to make that happen. And with that, we'll be right back. Did you know there are a lot of ways you can keep up with us? For starters, every Wednesday at noon, we host Sold with Updike Pew, live from our Facebook and YouTube channels. Our show is dedicated to featuring some of the best homes in the Dallas market and about sharing timely information about market trends. But don't worry if you miss the show, because you can always listen to them on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Spotify.
Still want more? Follow us on Instagram, where you get a first-hand look at what it's like to be a realtor. And it's not always previewing homes for clients or getting them ready to go live in MLS. Lastly, visit our website and you'll be able to create a custom home search tailored specifically to your wants and needs that's timely and accurate. Whether it's square foot, location, or the neighborhood, we have you covered.
If you'd like to know how much your home is worth, we can help with that too. Just visit homeprice.fyi, enter a few pieces of information like your home address, and we'll email you a price. When you're ready to talk real estate, you can reach us online, by phone, or by text at 214-377-2223.
And remember, we want to be realtors for life.
Hi everybody, welcome to the second segment, episode 218 of Sold with Updike Pew. I'm Jeff Updike.
I'm Weston Pugh. Today we thought, given the time of year that it is, it would be important to talk about spring storms are coming, and are you covered? This is a really big deal for us. I think it's so fresh on our minds.
It is. You know, a lot of people, as you get farther toward the coast, have to worry about hurricanes. Mm-hmm. We have to worry, as we get closer to the Midwest, about tornadoes.
Yep, and the tornado sirens have already gone off twice this year from two different storms, and we have another round coming in on Thursday.
So they're not called tornado sirens anymore.
What are they
they're
called?
Not supposed to be. They haven't been called that in a long time. I just learned this last week. They are storm sirens.
Sirens?
Yeah, they don't set those off. You can cut all this out if you want. They don't set those off to indicate tornadoes anymore. I just learned that last Thursday from Pete Delkus. Because he was talking, because that was the day all those storms were coming through, and he was talking about, the storm sirens are going off, and somebody said, I think it was Jesse, said something about, you don't call those tornado sirens anymore, and he's like, well, yeah, so, I did not know that. So.
I didn't either.
Okay.
So in preparing for this segment, we reached out to Tammy Farmer, who is an insurance salesperson in our office, and asked for what are some of the tips that she has for us, because insurance is what you're going to be left with at the end of the day. And one of the things that she pointed out was to make sure that there is water backup coverage and leak and seepage. She said, interestingly, that these are both two endorsements you must ask for. So they are not in coverage. So I'm going to repeat one more time. Water backup coverage and leak and seepage. These are two separate items, and they come into play at different times depending on the level of damage that you have to your house. Don't want that on anybody, but you must ask for these endorsements, and it's best to go ahead and do that when you get done listening to our show.
Yes, I would agree. And if in the comments below, we'll put Tammy Farmer's contact info, because Tammy is a great resource in our office. Every time that we've asked her about something, she knows what she's talking about. She is kind of a no-nonsense person, and has, people that we've referred to her before have said, she did a great job, thanks, I've got great insurance. And sometimes Tammy has said, I can't make the deal that you're getting with somewhere else because of your relationship with ABC or whomever.
Absolutely. So she's a really good one to go to.
She is. The number two thing that she talked to us about is to make sure that your deductible is something that you are comfortable handling, because you can get a variety of deductibles. Most of the time you're going to get a $1,000 deductible made available, or you're going to jump to a 1% deductible. And when you say 1%, that is 1% of the amount your home is insured for. So if your home is insured for $500,000, that means you have a $5,000 deductible when you start a claim. Meaning you have to kind of know up front if that claim is going to be worth filing, and not just to meet that deductible, but your insurance rates will go up. If you have a history of claims, regardless of the company, your rates will go up.
You always will. One of the other things that we want to also point out is looking at your trees. Removing tree branches. And one of the kickers that you should be looking for is if your tree branch is beginning to split or if it loses bark. I had two over the front of the house that were beginning to lose their bark. And we just had our trees trimmed in the fall, but for some reason they didn't make it through the winter. And so that was one of the ways that we knew that it was time to take those down before the storms get here and we have damaging winds that could actually knock those onto the house or onto our cars or in our neighbors' houses. The other way to tell, this is happening right now at our neighbor's house. She has a tree that kind of has split a little bit, and the one in the branch in the middle has not budded. The other two are, which typically means that that portion is going to be dead and is going to become very susceptible to high winds. So these are things you really should pay attention to, especially if they're large and mature trees.
I would agree. The other thing that you may want to consider for this time of year is getting a generator installed. I've started looking into that just because I live in an area where I'm kind of the first one to lose power and the last one to get it back because I'm really right at the end of literally at the end of an electric line. And so with the number of times that I've lost power over the last several years, it's a big consideration for me now. With the companies that I've talked to, there is a difference in the price. I have a relationship with one of the big box stores. I went to them. I've also done some work looking at it, not as not the company that's going to do everything to install it, but maybe handle some of those pieces on my own. And there's money to be saved doing that.
So you're going to GC it yourself?
Maybe.
I think you should. I'll help.
It's not that big. Okay. Last was copy and secure important documents.
And this is really important because this is going to be, we're talking about wills, insurance policies. These are the things that are going to be so important. Your will, someone's going to have a copy of that, but just make sure. And the insurance, there's nothing worse than not having that ready. The other thing too, go ahead and load your phone and make sure your insurance agent is inside of your phone. I know that when mine burned down, that was one of the first calls that I made. So we hope you found this really interesting. These are 4 topics or 4 points that we thought we would bring up. There's a lot more. If you like more information about any of these or tell us what your favorite one is, please let us know and we'd be happy to put those out there for you.
And just remember, we want to be your realtors for life. When you're ready to talk real estate, you can reach us online, by phone, or by text at 214-377-2223.
And remember, we want to be your realtors for life.